Yes, the question actually had to do with a very fantastic super tournament that just took place. The strongest tournament of the year, the strongest round robin so far of the year, just took place in Zurich. It was a 6-player elite field that played a kind of a remarkable trifecta, if you will. They had a blitz round robin, they had a classical chess round robin, and they had a rapid chess round robin. And the organizers used the blitz as a way of determining the move number of the players, so that those 3 players who did better in the blitz got the 3 higher numbers for the classical. And from the classical, for each point scored in the classical, you got 2 points for the overall standings, and in the final rapid, you got 1 point, and it was the combined scores, blitz excluded. Long story short, Viswanathan Anand won the classical portion. He got caught by America's Hikaru Nakamura, as they both finished the competition with 9. Now, my understanding was that in case of a tie in the combined scoring, they would use a tiebreaker. A tiebreaker such as, how did you do against each other in the heads-up match? Well, the tiebreakers all favored Anand. Vishy had defeated Hikaru in their individual classical game, so if you were going to use their heads-up, you got to declare Anand the winner. If you use a buckled system, Anand had a superior buckled, and so on. So there was some confusion, or actually there wasn't. I just thought Anand won the tournament. Then came the discussion that the organizers were wanting to have a playoff to determine the title. And I think such things are fine. They're great. I love playoffs. I really do. I think that that tournament should be decided over the board in case of a tie. I'm all in favor of that. But I really want to see that before the tournament begins. In other words, make your rules. Everybody knows what they are beforehand, and don't change them midway. My understanding is that this was actually a change by the organizers, almost post-fact. You know, like, okay, now we got a tie. It's not nice to give the trophy to one guy and a lesser trophy to the other. Let them decide it over the boards. My understanding, it was going to be a tiebreaker, and that Anand had won the tournament. So Hikaru definitely got lucky in the sense that the tiebreaker was decided to be played.
It's particularly interesting because, I mean, not only does it affect your strategy at the end, you know, he might have played differently if he knew that a draw wouldn't
necessarily clinched. I agreed. Again, the observation there is, if Anand going into the last game, for argument's sake, was under the impression that a draw secures the worse, a tie for first, he goes for the draw, and they say, no, you're going to have a playoff, maybe his strategy would have been different. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think that that is the type of determination you need to make before the tournament takes place. So, for example, we're going to have a U.S. Championship, man. The U.S. Championship's coming up at the end of March, start of April. And what happens if 2 players play for first? If you say, we're going to use a buckled, bingo, got it. If you say, no, we're going to play 2 games of rapid chess, and if there's not a winner, we're going to play 2 games of blitz chess, and if there's not a winner, we're going to play an Armageddon, boom, got that, right? But you don't just say, let's play an Armageddon. You know, like, I mean, Armageddon, it only comes after you've exhausted all the other tiebreaker things. So I was a bit surprised, and especially for a tournament of what a great caliber Zurich is.
I gotta ask,
Ben,
if you were in Anand's spot,
yes,
and you, as far as you understood the tournament,
yes,
to go to tiebreaks on paper rather than over the board,
yes,
and then the organizers say, well, let's play an Armageddon,
yes,
and decide this over the board. Would you feel pressured to accept, or would you stand your ground?
Yes, the question is, if the organizer kind of makes this last second change. Or, you know, yes, you're a good guy, your opponent's a good guy, you know, the audience is all here, would you please be so kind and blah, 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 play the game. I am really, really cognizant, flexible, recognize there's an audience, grateful to the organizers for making such a great. I'm really flexible on such matters where it's not for the World Championship or it's not for the United States Championship. Conversely, I'm absolutely, totally inflexible when I'm playing in a World Championship cycle and the rules have been set. They're set in stone. There's no flexibility here. We're playing for the World Championship. We're playing for the United States. A coveted, if I play on the chess Olympic team, I want those rules. I want to know what happens when two teams tie. Are we going to play a blitz, or are we not going to play a blitz? We're going to use a Buchholz. We're going to use a Sonnenberg-Berger tie-breaking system, heads-to-head matchup thing. So I'm just saying that where really important national, international titles are at stake, no, those things are clear. In a private tournament like a Zurich, like a Sinkfield Cup, you know, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be more amenable, okay? But I think it's still a bad idea to do things on the fly.
But at Zurich, you would have.
I would have played, like Anand, I would have played. But had it been World Championship Magnus Carlsen time, and they said, yes, sir, we're not going to play a playoff. In case of a tie, it's the player who won more games with black is going to determine the title. I happen to win more games with black. I am not playing a playoff. Yes.
Do you think there might have been any like negotiations between Nakamura and Anand, like discussing like prize money, and they came to like some agreement whether they understand they're playing it for the audience, they're playing it, you know, so that maybe because I mean, like you said, those types of tournaments, money is nice, so but they're not necessarily like being declared the winner is not necessarily as important.
I don't know. The question is regards, well, was there some negotiations, and how was the prize money impacted by the playoff and such questions? I don't know. What was really surprising for me was the format of the playoffs. Again, I mean, if I had been in Anand's shoes and I said, okay, look, we all know I'm the tie-break winner, right? Okay. Why does shoot for an Armageddon? You've got a big audience. They're in the playing hall. They're online. Why don't we play 2 5-minute games? 2 10-minute games. We'll just play back and forth. You get black, I get black, right? Okay. And then we'll go to the Armageddon. I mean, it just seemed very surprising. So there had to be some negotiations along the line that you're saying. And did the players discuss, you know, a 10-minute game and then 2 10-minute games and 2 5-minute games and 2 3-minute games, or was it just Armageddon or bust, or only Armageddon or not? I don't know. I'm very curious. I'm waiting for the players to be interviewed to explain what the negotiations led to.